How's it going, guys? Oddly Unorthodox here with another Total War Warhammer 3 video. This time running it with Chaos Dwarfs and a normal Dwarven ally versus double Undead. You can see here that I wanted to go for... I expected a lot of sort of chaff, so I went for like a Chaos Warrior main line. A bunch of Hobgoblin archers for obviously the fire flame attacks from the arrows. 2 magma cannons to hopefully deal with anything like Blood Knights, Vargeist, Vargals, anything along those lines that are a bit on the bigger side and would do a decent job punching through. And then we've got the Regent of Renown Dwarven Warriors, because they have flaming attacks, for those of you who didn't know. Normal ones don't, but the Blazing Beards of Bazarek do, and they have like a flaming ranged attack as well. But quite cool, as you can see. And then to the left of those, you also brought some Infernal Iron Sworn, purely because they've got flame attacks as well, and magic attacks, though just quite nice to bring to the build. So you can see loading in, that's the build for my Lord. And before I forget, it is a Sorcerer of Profit with fire, just on a Taurus. Mainly because the fire buffs, I just thought it'd be super helpful. You know, you can give Flaming Sword of Ruin to a group of your units, or you know, and even cascading freaking Fire Cloak if you need to. Firestorm, Burning Heads if they're needed as well. The enemy went for a really odd build, and this seems to happen every time I play against the Undead. So you can see I'll move up straight away. But I'll show you what the enemy went with. So I'm guessing another pre-made Undead player, and this one's gone for Colostra Diaphin, 4 squads of Sirens, and then we've got 3 Hex Wraiths over here. Obviously from different factions. We've got 2 zombie pirate gunnery mobs, and then on this side we've got 3 squads of Calm Wraiths, a Banshee, a Mortis Engine, and then a squad of Shade Wraith gunners behind them. And then I've got the Strigoi Ghoul King, who, if you didn't notice, took a fair amount of punishment from the cannons, and you can see they've also got a Morgul, Haunter, and 2 squads of Morguls. It's this weird ball-like ghost cavalry build attacking you from the sides. Seemed a bit weird, but you can see we sort of deal with it as and when. I send up my Hobgoblin. I've got 2 Hobgoblin Riders. I send those up to try and deal with any sort of problems, and you can see that we've used the Magma Cannon just to punch the 2 zombie riot gunnery mobs. Get rid of those so we don't have to deal with them. And then you can see that I don't want to send all my forces over here yet, because I'm not quite sure what the enemy has left. I want to scout a little bit more first, before I send my forces over. But you can see there, we use the amulet of Bashut to make him take increased fire damage, and then we get up there with the Hobgoblins, so the Hobgoblins start shooting and get the flame damage popped on. We've also popped the Flaming Sword of Ruin, obviously giving me magic damage. And you can see the absolute horde of fire arrows coming in. Not doing like an unreal amount of damage, but they are doing the job of chipping away at him. And then obviously the magma cannons are really starting to hurt him. So you can see here now I've decided that actually the enemy's shown enough of their pieces that I'm going to get back, help the dwarfs and do what we can. And then I do notice the flank of Shade Wraith Gunners. This is a poor mistake by me. You can see a real lapse in my micro. This was a poor mistake by my enemy. I could have ran both of these up straight away and just demolished that squad. But you can see I decided to pull back, try and help with this cavalry situation. Dwarfs are winning the little fight over there. So I'm just going to clear up all of these Hex Wraiths. My Chaos Dwarfs just seem to absolutely attract cavalry. No idea why, but people just seem to love running cavalry at them. But you can see the Hobgoblins are actually taking them out through sheer volume of fire. Not a great time for the Hex Wraiths. You can see the Sirens are doing an alright job at chopping through. Obviously, Dwarf Warriors are going to struggle a bit dealing with them. Slayers should be able to deal with them. And you can see we've chopped through the Hex race, and now we're going to move on to the Mongols. And I'll try and retreat my Hobgoblins to buy me a little bit of time on this flank, because he obviously is moving his units up. We've got a spare squad of Goblin Labourers just minding their own business. Brought them because I had 150 value, and I thought, why not? You can see the cannons are going straight into Diafin, hoping to chunk her out before she can cause to be a problem. And now we're going to go push and help the dwarfs deal with their problems. Huge mistake by me. I tell you guys so often, do not group your units like this, especially if the enemy has a magic caster. I'm just asking to get hit by a big AoE spell. There you go. As on cue as I say it. You know, I basically asked for that to happen. As you can see here, it is now time to take the fight to the Strigoi, Ghoul King. A breath attack on my Magma Cannon, which did fair damage, but you can see that we bolstered our lines, knowing this attack was coming. And we do bring our walls back up in a minute to shut down these Shade Wraith Gunners. Obviously, one Magma Cannon's not going to be feeling too good, because it is taking an absolute beating from the Ghoul King. And it is a bit hit and miss here, but you can see we get a nice burning head down. You know, does a little bit of damage to my own dwarfs, but in general we absolutely just rinse through their units. And we send the Iron Sworn to go deal with the Mortis Engine. And send my Sorcerer Prophet in to shut down these Shade Wraith Gunners before they can deal too much damage. Break them off. You can see the missiles coming in from the Iron Sworn, chunking out those units. I've got faith in the Chaos Dwarf Warriors over here as well. You know, they've got the buff. And we do manage to save a Magma Cannon. And we are just helping our dwarfs to deal with all this cavalry, the likes of that we just want to sort of scrape off the map. The Strigoi is coming back in, even though he is starting to get a bit battered. Noticing that his Mortis Engine is being absolutely demolished. And the fact I've managed to clear off these. I think I've been Spirit Leashed about 6 times already, but it's fine. And we get a nice shot from the Magma Cannon straight into the back. That. You can see the Chaos Dwarfs there. The Goblin Labourers are running because they don't like ghosts. Ghosts scare them, understandably so. And then you can see we've taken apart this Banshee here. And we're still putting shots straight into the Strigoi. We don't really want to fight the Ghoul King and use our buffs until he's used his. I think he just ran out of the amulet. I'm not sure what this annoying animation is where I'm just stuck running into him. But the Magma Cannon's still shooting. I'm going to try and bring him back around. Another Spirit Leech. And the Banshee's going to try and shut down my Magma Cannon. But you can see that we are pretty much just winning this now. Goddamn shortcuts opening up again. There's a few Sirens left. Uses the summon for the Rotten Prometheans, but her Knights Errant are dead. And we've got the Infernal Iron Sworn and the Blazing Beards in the heck here, so they should absolutely demolish these. And you can see that we are just running the Strigoi around. Increase my armour a little bit. And the cannon manages to escape. We get the Magma Cannon back. And you can see he's trying his hardest to debuff all my units. But there's some tough units. We give them the Flaming Sword of Ruin, increasing their base weapon damage even more. Another Spirit Leech on my Chaos Dwarf Lord, Sorcerer Prophet of Fire. But the game is pretty much done. You can see that, you know, we're taking out the Sirens. The Sirens being chopped down. My Goblin Labourers come back. They're cheering for his Chaos Dwarven Overlord. And you can see the Rotten Prometheans are dead now. And now, Colostra's, she's okay, but she's not fighting that fight. She's got no armour. Mean defense isn't the highest, so she's going to get absolutely chopped by these Infernal Ironsworn. It doesn't matter what buff she uses, they are absolutely going to work. And you can see by how quick her HP is dropping. Another Spirit Leech? Nope, it was a Fire Cloak by myself, trying to give me a bit more armour. And you can see I do try and bait him to dropping into Gombrindle, but he decides that he doesn't really want to drop into there. And you can see here that obviously she got absolutely demolished, as I said she would. Another Spirit Leech. But as you can see, we do manage to win. Now let's have a look at some of the values and see where I would say could do with improvement. So one Magma Cannon got shut down super early. They didn't have the best game, these Magma Cannons, but they did okay. Normally they do a lot better. The Infernal Ironsworn, like I told you, I paid for myself. Real good unit. 2,000 value on the Source of Profit Fires, not too bad. 1,400 on these Chaos Dwarfs is huge. 215, 165, 600, not too great on them. These guys pretty much pay for themselves. And the Hobgoblins, I thought they were decent, bringing, you know, 680, 330, 442, 540. I think they only cost about, I think it's 500 to bring, so they really do bring quite a lot to the table, especially against Undead. My Goblin Labourers, I'll take their 28 value. Worth every time. This has been Oddly Unorthodox. Thank you for watching, guys, and I'm going to catch you on the next one.